All right, welcome back to another episode of Persuasion by the Pint. Jonathan Taylor, along with
Sean McCool and Jonathan. Today we have these mysterious black envelopes in front of us today with a seal. Like this is some top secret stuff here we're going to be doing today. So
we're going to be sniffing some stuff today.
Sniffing some stuff today. And you're just going to continue to kill our YouTube rankings. So so we've got a special guest that's going to be talking about scentology, the science of scents.
Science of smell. That's one area in persuasion and psychology out of 421 episodes we have not covered. So today we are bringing you a different dimension of persuasion.
Yes, absolutely. So let me go ahead and just read our guest's bio, and then we'll bring them on, get the crowd worked up here.
Yep.
So our guest today is Tiffany Rose Goodyear. She's an innovator in the event sector, specializing in creating immersive sensory experiences. She's got a background in advertising and was the founder of a dessert catering company. Has a track record of pioneering award-winning sensory-based experiences for leading companies and brands. From concept to launch, her original strategies powerfully communicate to target audiences while achieving strategic goals. She's an active speaker at industry events and thrives on cultivating collaborative relationships with dynamic teams, partners, and vendors to deliver best-in-class results. Please welcome to the show, Tiffany Rose Goodyear.
Hello.
Yes, we have a live audience here.
Absolutely.
Sort of.
On standby.
On standby. All right, welcome to the show, Tiffany.
I feel so welcome. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm excited to be your first out of 422 to talk about scent persuasion, because your olfactory is so important and equally forgotten.
Apparently. We've certainly
works on me every time, I tell you.
It works on everybody.
I walk into a bakery and you got me, or a coffee shop, bakery.
Or a model home with the cookies baking.
That's right.
That's big here.
Hooked me.
Yeah. So
even bookstores, man. We were talking about bookstores. Going in bookstores, I love the smell of bookstores.
A smell of a book, a smell of an old book. It is nostalgic.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
A Kindle is never going to give you that.
Never.
Depends on where you set it and how long it's sitting there, I guess. So if you bake a lot with it and do recipes, there's no telling what a Kindle might smell like.
That's right.
So, but Tiffany, give our listeners a little teaser of why they might want to stick around, maybe something new they're going to learn.
So if you've ever seen a picture of yourself or looked in the mirror, you have this thing literally in the middle of your face. It's called your nose. It's one of the top 5 sensory receptors that we talk about: touch, taste, smell, audio and visual. I think I got them in: sight, sound, touch, taste, smell, right? Smell's usually last of the list.
Yeah.
And as a culture, we're not taught to think about it or to talk about it or to have shared scent experiences. And it is what makes us human. It is how we experience the world. And it deserves at least acknowledgement and discussion. But from a persuasive perspective, it is a tool you can use in order to communicate an idea, a strategy, a feeling, a mood, an emotion. And the more we talk about it, the more we have an understanding of the world around us. So I'm here to talk about it.
Yeah,
that is cool. I'm looking forward to this.
Got my live demonstrations.
Yeah, I got my package in the mail 2 days ago, I think, and have not opened anything. Have not done any, sneak peeks or anything like that. So ready for it. Let's move into our juvenile beer talk segment of the show here. And Tiffany, as a guest, you get to go first. What beverage are you having? You said before the show started, you said you put some thought into this.
Well, so I live in a world of high-low. I'm either a 1 or a 10. I have very particular taste about many, many things. And I particularly love the lack of flavor of a Busch Light. And I get a lot of flack for this. And then I have a vintage pint glass here for us to enjoy today. Cheers.
Very nice.
Cheers.
So Busch Light. Okay. That is a new one on the show. We have not had a Busch Light on the show, I don't think. So I like it. Jonathan, what do you have?
I think I'm gonna just smell mine, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, we're not allowed to drink them today. We're just going to smell them. What do you have, Jonathan?
I have a from Creature Comforts. I have a Connected Like a Quilt Scotch Ale. Some really cool quilt design. The art design on here is really cool. It says we are all our own little patchwork with individual lives and character, but when we come together, we are strong and beautiful.
Wow, that is a sweet message for a can of beer.
6% ABV.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's a very sweet message. Well, I did not have beer, and I did not want to take the time to go to the store today.
Yep.
By the time I realized it, so I just pulled something off the shelf, and I got myself an Aberlour 12-year Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey.
Oh,
so that's what I'm having in my.
You
little
definitely want to breathe
cup.
that in.
Yeah, definitely. And drinking out of my little stainless steel carpenter's cup.
Yep.
I like drinking out of that better than a glass for some reason, but
yeah.
So yeah, that way you can't tell how much I'm drinking either. So it will not be a pint. Tiffany called me out on that. So it will not be a full pint's worth, but yeah, it'll be a couple sips. So
it'll be enough.
That's right. Well, Tiffany, we do a scale of 1 to 5 pints, 5 being the best for your beverage. You can use decimal points, whatever. So on a scale of 1 to 5 pints, where do you place Busch Light?
As far as my preference,
taste, scent, obviously.
Scent, all of the above.
I don't know if Busch Light has a scent, but.
I'm going to go a little bit deep in this just because I was taking notes of your beverages, knowing that we have a special exercise coming and thinking about what we could pair and what. So we're going to talk about. I think the reason that I love Busch Light, and it's a 10 out of 5 for me, is because it doesn't have a lot of flavor. And my life is like overwhelmed in fragrance, which is very similar to flavor all day long. So when I go home, my home is not scented, and I prefer the flavorless, slightly alcoholic, water-like.
Yeah. So you're like, when you get off work, you're cleansing your palate.
Yeah.
In all ways. Right. So all 5 senses need a good cleanse. So, all right.
Reset.
Jonathan, what do you give that lovely, endearing beer there?
It's beautiful. I got to give it a little, it's going to get some love for the art on the can. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, not overly impressed with the smell or the taste.
Coffee was great.
Coffee was good. I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3.8. 3.8 out of 5.
I'm going to give mine. This is a single malt Scotch whiskey, 12 years. I'm going to give it, got a pretty good amount of smoke to it. So I'm going to give this is a good one. I'm going to go 4.5 on this one.
Oh, 4.5.
It's a nice one.
You said it's a 12-year, right?
Yeah, it's disappearing, pretty fast for a 12-year. So yeah, now I give it a 4.5. So
nice. Very good.
All right. Well, Tiffany, cheers it up to a good show. We forgot to do that, I think. So cheers.
Yeah, we did. We didn't do our traditional chink, whatever.
Yeah, I jumped ahead of that one. So I was so excited about the coming scents. I'm just like, let's get on with it. Because I'm wondering what's going on.
All right, Tiffany, tell us a little bit about your background and how you started out. Because we were having this conversation before the show, so you gotta give us some background.
I think sometimes in life your path is lit in different ways, and sometimes you take the well-lit path, even though you don't know where it's going. And I would describe my professional career as such. So I was a philosophy undergraduate because I thought I'd go to law school, and I love the idea of persuasion, right? Like to litigate in court is perhaps the most consequential level of persuasion, right? And as are politicians, right? So I got into advertising, and I've always been fascinated about like how you can motivate people to act. So what is it that you can communicate, and how you can communicate people to vote or buy a product or make an action, have a preference. So that's always been in the back of my head. I went to grad school for advertising management. I thought I would graduate the University of Denver and leave to a big metropolis the next day. I ended up starting a bakery. It was a full service dessert catering company. I knew it wasn't my life's work. It's very mom and poppy, super cutie. It's called Yours Truly Cupcake in Denver, Colorado. I'm very proud of it. It's our quinceanera this year, which is wild. But our desserts, I don't come from a culinary background. We're always about the experience. And so creating a lasting memory and experience, which leans into persuasion for the end user. And what I got to see in real life, having just graduated with a master's in advertising, is how touch, taste, and smell, which are the 3 sensory receptors that are, again, most ignored by advertising, is 99% audiovisual, can really affect that user experience and can strategically create a message that, again, persuades people to maybe like choose or act in a certain way. And then I really started to drill down in fragrance. There are fragranceophiles, perfumophiles, people that are like heavy lovers of fragrance. I was never one of those. That's not my background. I came from creating experiences, creating events. And so I think one thing that makes Scentex unique is that as an event service company that does fragrance activations, as opposed to coming from the perfume world, which is steeped in like personal products and cleaning products, trying to execute events, that doesn't always translate. So there's not a lot of, I think that's why this hasn't necessarily like happened to date. There's other companies that have done it in fits and starts. Scent marketing is growing exponentially. So as far as like static environments, that is making a huge impact. And for me, it is about a live event experience with human bodies and how scent can add to that experience, because you're already curating everything else, right? You're thinking about the seating, the music, the lighting, the this, the that, the other. And it's like, it is my personal manifesto to get scent on the event checklist. It should be considered. It is one of our sensory receptors. And it's funny because I only talked about like actual noses in our lives semi recently, because for a lot of our activations, they're like, well, it's men in the audience. And I'm like, okay, we should do my activation where clients make a custom home fragrance. And I'm like, men smell too. Men,
we have noses.
That's right.
I know this is wild, but like both men and women have them, so they could equally enjoy the experience. And I think it is our duty as experience creators to invite everybody to use their nose. Like, doesn't that sound silly to be like, men, nope.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I love what you're saying here, because like you said, if you have a wedding event, like it's definitely catered for the eyes, right? It's catered for you got the music, for the sound, the speakers, those are your primary senses. There's a little bit of touch going on with like seats. Do you pick the cheap seats so people leave earlier, or do you pick a little bit nicer seat, glassware, silverware? Yeah. Restaurants, the silverware has to be the right weight, or else it's, it kills the whole experience. If you have cheap silverware, or it's too heavy for the type of food you're eating, like there's so many little things that go into all that stuff. So that's 3. But you hardly ever hear about people talking about scents. So I'm other than the only thing that I think I've heard of very intentionally around scents is like baking cookies for an open house for realtors. Like they've been doing that for decades.
Well, I know hotels they do scent marketing all the time. And it's very intentional. The high scale, obviously, a lot of the high scale hotels, when you walk in, they have to have a very specific scent that it's all intentional to bring you back, but it's their scent, it's and a lot of it goes into nostalgia too. I know scent takes me back, certain scents take me back to days past, it's very nostalgic on when certain aromas come across, right? Oh,
yes,
I like that.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
Well, so everything you're saying is absolutely spot on. Luxury hotels do it well. I've stayed I think I was at a La Quinta Inn, and outside of Tampa, Florida.
That smelled like a Denny's restaurant, right?
You know what? High low here. If I'm paying for it, like Quince, when a client's paying for it, 5 stars. But it's all about balance.
Yeah.
And they did it, and it's like I always applaud them for making the attempt because it is important, right? And your mention of nostalgia, where the neuroscience of it is that your olfactory is in the oldest part of your brain. It's sometimes called the lizard brain.
Mhm.
It is deep in your brain. Scent molecules actually touch your brain, so it's the only sensory receptor we have that like tickles your brain.
Yep.
It's hardwired into the brain.
It's in the limbic system, which is also where memory and emotion are. So when you smell that scent and you're just like instantly transported back, we often don't even have the words to describe that experience because it bypasses language. It bypasses our rational thought, but it is a time machine. You can walk down and smell a grandparent or your high school crush, any of those things. And I think that's what makes scent so exciting.
Mhm.
Which is also when I do talk about my work, everyone's like, oh, that makes sense because we all can relate to it. It's just, even in the English language, we don't have a lot of scent words. It's hard to describe scent. We use flavor words or in my industry, when we're creating scent, it's like, is it sharp? Is it bubbly? Is it effervescent? Is it powdery? We're just not taught a lot about scents to begin with. And there's like, in the academic canon of like philosophy and psychiatry, we decided that scent wasn't important. I was a philosophy undergraduate. I mentioned that. I would have never thought for a million years that like that fact and scent like had anything to do with each other. But Kant said that scent was the least important of the senses. It most closely linked us to animals, and we are not animals. We have morals and ethics. So scent is our base scent, like we don't respect it and we shouldn't be even talking about it. Why acknowledge it? Right. So hundreds of
Good
years
old
of
Kant. Yeah.
Right.
Just a
So
downer.
it's like, okay. And then Freud, have you guys heard of this guy Freud? He's like into
Vaguely.
Right. So he, first of all, was a anosmic by the time he died because he did so much cocaine. Secondly, he also discounted completely the olfactory and the sense of smell. He would perform surgeries on women, because we love to be the guinea pig, for menstrual cramps, and like did something to remove their olfactory like bulb. He only stopped doing it when he killed a woman. So
Oh, wow.
the men of academia had decided for the Western culture, which is where we reside today, that scent is not important. And so
that is crazy.
It never was.
That's crazy. Yeah. Because it is such a, I mean, we do take it for granted, but you're always smelling. It's like when you come home from vacation or something, you smell your house and you're like, oh, this is what I smell like. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. You're like, oh,
it's cat pee.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I have that many cats, huh? Or whatever. Like, but everybody, your house has a scent. You don't realize it being in there because you're just used to it.
Yep.
So, okay. So
I just thought about that tagline that you said. Did you intentionally say that makes sense? Is that part of your tagline? That makes
earlier, but people
not sense, but sense.
And not my tagline, but it is funny because it makes rational sense talking about scent. So I joke about that. But exactly, you relate to it. Once I start talking to people and people are like, oh yeah, we smell all the time. Every space you've ever walked into has a scent. Every person you've ever been intimate with has a scent. Yep. There's some research that says like you'll never be a best friend with somebody if like your fragrance profiles don't vibe. And we all smell. I mean, that's what makes us human. That's what makes us mammals. We have mammary glands. It's all related to scent. And like one of the sad facts about fragrance and olfactory is, and it occurred obviously we started talking about it during COVID. So COVID was actually good for the scent industry. And then it's like, people only appreciated their sense of smell once they lost it, right? It's like your world loses color. I think of that movie with Reese Witherspoon where it's like from color to black and white, or Wizard of Oz. Like a life without fragrance is a life without color. And statistically, this is the sad part. People that lose a sensory receptor, so you lose your hearing, you go blind. I don't know much about losing your sense of touch, but I'm sure it's possible. And taste and smell are related. You're most likely to be suicidal by having lost your sense of smell.
Wow.
Most people would choose that, right? Would be like, well, smell, who cares? I want to see and listen to music. But really, like, you're no longer attracted to your husband. You no longer
people don't realize the extent of that, because like you said, during COVID, when you lost your smell, a lot of that plays into taste too. You can't
100%.
taste. So it's like, I mean, it doesn't just end with smell. It also trickles down into other senses that we have. So I can see that. I can definitely.
Well, I'm curious, Tiffany, like when we say sense and you say, smelling someone that might, you kind of make a decision about being a friend. Now, obviously, like there's very strong scent. How subtle can the scent be and still have an effect on your like choice and persuasion and all that stuff?
I heard something 100.
Like, is it noticeable? Does it have to be noticeable or not?
You would notice if you didn't like it, right? Like we've all smelled people. And sometimes even like, again, I read a lot about scent. They say that like sometimes it's, you don't know why you don't like somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Their scent. And part of
which again goes back to bypassing language that you mentioned earlier.
It's like, there is some subversiveness of this. And a scientific fact I heard a long time ago is that part of like the smelling of pheromones in two people that are going to procreate is you subconsciously smell each other's immune system. So if you have antibodies for something and I have it, like we're going to be a good match because then our children will have double the antibodies. Like you can't, I think that's imperceptible.
Right. Yeah.
There's another test about like you can smell Parkinson's disease. There was a dating, I don't know if it was kind of a not real startup, but they did the science on it about sending people t-shirts that they wore and matched them based on like the smell of the t-shirt. Again, I'm not sure. I am in the scent world and I'm not even sure how descriptive I could be by smelling my future husband's t-shirt, but I'll know it. I'll like it when I smell it. I'll know it when I smell it. I'll know it. I'll be. So that's all I have to say about that. I hope that answers your question.
No, that helps. It's like, so there is a portion of it that is going to be imperceptible. That's good to know. Cause I think any scent, if there's too much of it, can be overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
Even if you like it, like if it's too much, too thick, too heavy.
Yeah.
Like exactly.
Some colognes will just kill you. I mean, they'll blow you away.
Even like chocolate chip cookies. I love chocolate chip cookies, but if it's too strong and too thick in the, whatever the chemical makeup of the air is, it'd be like overpowering and it could make you like nauseous almost, right?
So the way that I address this is that I wear contacts, right? I looked into getting hearing aids because my earbuds always popped out and I'm like, I'm investing for things that like get in there, but they don't do noise canceling. So we all have different, we're very familiar with our different strengths in sight and sound, right? Same with the nose. Some people smell stronger, scent sensitive, and I think it's a gift. They get to live more deeply in a world than I do. I've trained my nose to be more scent sensitive, but I'm not somebody that can smell a fire, which is also a gift because our noses alert us to danger. Fire. The other thing about like scent volume, which is what you were saying, Sean, is so when I'm selling selling scent to an event and they're like, our events are staffed in order to overcome that, but you also don't want to spend a bunch of money and then smell nothing, right? So it is creating like a balance. It's a little bit difficult to do outside of real time because the way people move inside a space affects the airflow. So when we do an event, we're there live, we make real-time decisions, ensuring that the scent is neither too strong or too soft, but also like we do large events. So somebody at the end of the day may nothing, and somebody at the end of the day may smell a lot. Also, if you stare into a light or the sun, which we don't recommend, but if you just stare into a light, what happens for the next 30 seconds?
You can't see.
Yeah.
You go blind. You literally, we've all been And it's not like they're like, no lighting at events, guys. Don't put lights at events because people could go blind for 30 seconds. Or a speaker. What happens when you stand next to a speaker and you're this far away?
Yeah.
You're going to feel a certain way. You're going to get a headache.
Yeah.
It's going to be uncomfortable. Same with scent. It just has to be monitored in a certain size space. But for some reason, we're scared of scent, right? Because we don't know how to talk about it. It's a weird thing. You can't see it. And people are like, oh, it's scented. And it's like, yeah, so is the rest of the world. Welcome.
Yeah. Is it true that like you stop smelling things after like 15 minutes or something like that, where your nose kind of just cuts it off?
It's called olfactory. Oh, the word just escapes me. It's a cute word. It'll come. Olfactory. Yes, it is.
Okay. I thought, but like you said, if the air currents in the room are moving around, you're going to catch it at different times. And
right, and sometimes it's using 2 scents like overcomes that. So if you have like one at a certain duration and then another, olfactory fatigue. Thank you for giving me a moment. Olfactory fatigue. And the anecdote for that is baking cookies at home, right? Like you stop smelling them after a while, but if you go outside and you come back in, you're like, oh, I'm not baking some cookies, but not too many because that overwhelms Sean.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, it's
or
like
the car smell. You got the new car smell, and you smell it for a while. It's like amazing.
Or like the crock pot. The crock pot's cooking all day, and then you take the dog out, and you come back in. You're like, oh wow, that smells really good.
It's amazing.
You kind of got used to it,
Yep.
So, well, Tiffany, let's talk about these scents that we got in front of us. Tell us what you're the boss. Like, how do we do this?
This is an example. What you were sent is this very tactile, sexy black envelope. All of our branding is in black and white because our brains are powerful. You'll note there's no scent words anywhere here. So we're not taking your bias being like, oh, do you like it or do you not like it before you even smell it? So we find that to be very important in our work. We are going to smell these out of the order that I believe you received. These may not be in the same order for all of us, but this, I guess I'm not going to, these are 4 fragrances. They have a relationship to one another. Okay. I'm going to tell you how they're curated. I did pick out while you guys were describing your drinks, especially the whiskey, what I think might pair well with it. But we're going to smell them in a particular order.
Okay.
Starting with 1302. So once we finish all 4, I'll be curious if you can pick out how we curated them.
All right. So breaking the seal. Man, I hope this is not some neurological attack on us.
This is not anthrax. It's not anthrax. No way. Let's see. All right. So
hold on.
Now that they're open.
They pull the thing out.
Yep. And the fragrance is on the smaller end. You'll hold it by the wider end and you will smell.
Oh. Yeah.
So we get woman.
So are we supposed to put notes on the little envelope? Is that what the blanks are for?
An event, yes. I'm doing a hotel in Denver, and we don't usually do static environments. We do dynamic environments, but she essentially did this yesterday with her fragrances, and then she has to ask the GM and the owner and everybody. So they'll all take their notes on this because I don't know about you guys, but our memories are failing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a word or a phrase for this one.
Tell me.
All right. So, do you want us to do it now, or are we going to go through all 4?
We can talk about this one.
So what came to my mind is fresh laundry.
Oh, interesting. I can see that.
Like coming out of the dryer or, while you're folding clothes, like
delicate. It's a delicate fragrance.
Yeah. Delicate's a good word. It's funny. Like I just felt it on I didn't put it in my mouth for my listeners, but like I did feel it on my tongue as I sniffed it. You know what I mean? Like I smell it and then I can feel my taste buds like lighten up when I smell it. It's weird. Jonathan, what do you smell?
Oh, you primed me. And so now I'm thinking of laundry.
What were you thinking before laundry?
I was thinking like something floral. Like some type of floral scent.
Perfect. Let's move on. We'll get, okay.
But it does smell like, I can see that. I can visualize fresh sheets.
Springy.
On the bed.
Yeah. I mean, some springy, flowery. Yeah, I could go with
Yep.
the flower too. All right. So what's our next one, Tiffany?
That's a good one though. I like that.
I'm glad.
Very, very fresh.
For a
It's very
wedding.
spring. Let's say spring.
Yeah.
The scent of spring.
1407, please.
1407.
All right.
All right.
And this is why we send out samples. We did some good scent talk prior to this, but us smelling together, this is a shared experience. And it's the one thing that creates the same space for the three of us. We don't have the same lighting, we don't have the same background noise, we don't have the same anything else, but we are sharing a space by smelling these together.
That is very different.
Man.
Wow. I'm going to let you go first, Jonathan, since I primed you.
Man, I'm trying to think. It smells like almost like a
Switch ends, Jonathan. You're holding it on the more saturated end.
Oh, I am? Okay. I thought the bigger end was what I should be.
The bigger end is what you should be holding.
You always like holding the bigger end, don't you?
Yeah, I would say cedar. It's got a cedar smell.
No. Now you've got me primed for wood, though. So I do think.
Yeah, but what were you thinking before?
Me before? I didn't have anything before. Like it had a blank spot in my brain.
It sounds it smells like a cedar trunk, like a really old cedar trunk. I like that though.
Palo Santo. The wood.
Interesting. Okay, let's
because you burn the Salapanto right after you burn the sage, to get all the demons and stuff out. So Palo Santo is a very good fragrance. That's what I smelled.
We will go to, I believe, 1202.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I'm sure this is just riveting for our listeners. Huh? I wish we could send it over to you.
Here's my call to action. If you email us or slide into our DMs after you and your friends follow us, just kidding, just slide into the DMs. And you say you heard us on this show.
Yep.
We'll send you some scent samples so you can join us.
Ooh.
You can re-listen.
All right. I like this one.
What does it remind you of? Okay, write it down. Write something down before we share because I can see
that's a good idea.
It is strong, gentlemen. Okay, see, this is what's great about a Busch Light in this scenario too, because these are 4 different fragrances, and the Busch Light goes with all of them.
Yeah. Is this the one you think should go with the whiskey?
Yes. It's the first one. It was the one.
I hope yours isn't.
I wrote this one down first, but I did choose a runner-up. But Jonathan, I didn't understand your taste profile of your beer as much, so I'm curious what you think would go with that. Once we get through with all 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did you write down your word for 1202, Jonathan?
Yes, I have.
I'll prime you.
Yes, I have.
All right, I wrote Christmas.
Okay.
And cinnamon.
Don't say that. Can't have both. That was mine.
Cinnamon.
I gotta say something else.
Oh, is that what you had though? You had cinnamon?
I had cinnamon or Big Red.
Big Red. Yeah.
That's what I thought of. I thought of a pack of Big Red when I smelled this.
There you go. There's the nostalgia right there.
That's right.
I tried to find a pack of Big Red the other day.
Do they even make it anymore? I think they do.
Sure they do.
I in my personal life, I'm trying to get TikTok famous doing my gum and drink pairings. I'll have you know.
Yeah.
And I did Doublemint and Juicy Fruit recently, which is the same lines as Big Red.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And cinnamon gum pairs with hot chocolate. Actually, that's where your listeners should also follow me, Tiffany Rose Goodyear, on the TikTok for my gum and drink pairings.
Ooh.
Who would have known gum and drink had a pairing profile?
I thought everybody did that. I'm like, wait, you don't choose your gum.
No. Yeah, you're right. But do you do this for wine too?
I don't drink wine. It doesn't. I could probably do a wine. I could find a wine. I do it for alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
I could do a gum for an old fashioned, like actually the gum I chose last night did not pair well with a Michelob Ultra, but it could have been good with an old fashioned. I might have to try that.
Cinnamon. You said cinnamon pairs well with hot chocolate.
Yes. 10 out of 10.
Sure.
Wow. I remember that.
Okay, we digress. One more to go.
Okay.
All right. Number 1430. Is that what we're on?
1430. And yes.
All right. I'm going to sniff it and then I'm going to write it down.
Ooh. Mm.
I'll do a play-by-play. These gentlemen have happy looks on
Yes,
their
we're,
faces.
we're
They
like
are
engaged.
smelling, they are
Okay.
watching, they are concentrating. It is a
I'm
good-
smelling like a spa. I've got this feeling of a spa, inside of a, right after you, you get the baths or the salts and the, or whatever, all the different lotions.
It's definitely
and
got
everything.
that. Yeah, it's definitely got that high-end hotel smell we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Got some of that. Something else going on though.
Yes.
I don't know. Makes me think about my dad for some reason. So must be how he smelled. His cologne. I don't know what he wore, or wears. Yes. It's definitely still some woodsy evergreen going on.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that.
And the
I would say
reason
evergreen's that's a good description.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys really started off strong with what this fragrance family is,
Mhm.
with your final description of 1302, the first one we smelled, but you leaned into it for the next. We kind of missed that we weren't quite as on point for the second one, but you got there for the rest of them. So I've never asked these questions this way before, but any idea
Yeah.
what these four sort of are?
I mean, it definitely feels like they're all like woodsy
What did
things,
you
except the first one. The first one was I don't get the woodsy stuff.
What did you say for the first one?
Laundry.
What did you guys land on for the first one?
What did we say?
Spring.
Spring. Yes.
Yeah.
We walked through the four seasons.
Yep.
Ah.
Oh.
So we started with spring. We went into summer. It's funny that you said cedar. Cedar's a base note. It's the difference between a top note and a base note is the size of a molecule. And this 1407 is not base note heavy. So it's interesting that you went there, but it's all correct. There's no wrong in like this exercise, but it's very citrus. That's why it's like leans into summer. There's a freshness and a citrus to it. You guys nailed it for 1202 is fall, but it leans into holiday and Christmas. You nailed that one. There's cinnamon in it. Yeah. Bam. And that took you back, right? Like you both went to that time of year. Mm-hmm. And then winter is the pine, right? It's funny that you had said a spa because a spa is often eucalyptus, which has that sort of sharp, cool fragrance note. But what I sort of read into that, and when you guys got to sort of like an evergreen, those are similar in like piercingness, if that makes sense. With the eucalyptus can be very like woo, and so can like evergreen. So you guys nailed it all. But that's where we walked through the four seasons, and that's
very cool.
That is cool. I love that.
But it's a good entree, right? Because we all know in North America, what our seasons lean into.
Yeah,
very cool. So I'm gonna.
So my favorite scents were spring and fall.
Well, which one?
Huh?
Which one does your beer taste best with?
I would probably go with the one that smells like cinnamon.
Fall. That's the one I chose for you, Sean. But I also then also chose winter after it because I think that could be like an interesting balance between like I'm thinking about fire and like the time of year and getting cozy with your.
Well, and where this whiskey comes from, it's Speyside, so it's up Northern Ireland, UK, a lot of mossy, peaty, stuff. So you kind of get that same fall kind of vibe going on. So
it's more earthy as opposed to sort of flower is out of the earth, but it doesn't smell like.
Yeah, if you were so for the spring, like Four Roses or something, bourbon might go with that because it's got a very floral.
Oh yeah.
Of all the bourbons, Four Roses actually smells like it. The name says so. So yeah, that makes sense. So I'm curious, Tiffany, like give us an example of like where you might what type of event you might use each of these for, or a couple of these for. You don't have to go through all 4 if you don't want to. But
well, so I think that this 4 seasons is how we send out scent samples so people understand our experience. I think that like a wedding would be lovely for really 1302 or 1407, but that's also because most people get married in the warmer months, right?
Yeah.
And so you think about it that way. I think any holiday party would benefit from either 1202 or 1430. We used to do holiday parties, and I'd watch these people walk in being like, wow, these trees smell so good. And I'm like, they smell like the same trees you had last year out of storage because they're plastic. But you're welcome.
yeah, that's cool.
So it's like people's brains are so fascinating watching people smell things.
Yeah. What's the most unusual type of event you've done so far?
I don't even know what that means. I don't know.
I mean, have you ever done like I can see weddings and
any event that really has the budget for us is unusual.
Okay.
But anybody who wants to like take that extra experience, we did do an event. It was pre-COVID. It was when I was it was like one of the first events we've ever done, and it was in this weird art studio thing that was literally like shag carpeting from top to ceiling. They made really cool light art. It was like acrylic light art things. It was, except for they smoked in the space, and it was for a very high-end client. And we don't usually do a lot of scent remediation, but we did that day, and it worked. So that was kind of unique. Yeah. I would say sometimes we can do work in 100,000 square feet. So we do like big team conferences. So like on that scale, I really like often think about our world in relationship to AI now too, right? Like I think about what AI, it's a tool for all of us, right? Like I'm leaning in, I want like 16 agents. I never want to look at a number for the rest of my life. I want to drink Busch Light and smell things.
Yep.
But an AI can't do that. And there are some scent companies. I read another recently in Popular Science that it like takes a photo and like will create the nostalgia of the smell and give you the smell. So to like create you a memory that you've never had. Interesting. I know another AI company that it's kind of like the work that we do, and we've utilized them in order to create fragrance. I had a client, this is weird. It was in Jamaica in the beginning of the year. So I don't think the resort was up to par after the hurricane. But they wanted like construction. They wanted like a warehouse or like cardboard. It was weird, but I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Scent solution.
Yeah.
We did an event right out of COVID where the entire event sort of was in an old car dealership. And so every level you had to drive up a Cadillac. So it's like you'd have a level and then like a ramp that was very walkable because, remember the boats from the 70s? My grandparents had them. So it was a really unique space that kind of spiraled up. So guests walk in and it was like the aftermath of the apocalypse, right? So we made it smell like smoke and burnt rubber and kind of nastiness. And then as guests walked up, the decor would change. Things were blossoming again, right? So that was a really unique, like, ability to tell that story with the guests as they move through space. Cool. Like we were coming out of a post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. A little Fallout going on there. If you've watched that show. Have you been able to find...
do your clients ever ask you for, can you make this smell, or can you give me this type of smell that,
part of our, just people don't, let me clear something up, and you haven't said this word yet. People don't know what musk smells like. People, it's musky. Like I wouldn't have known this either. So no, like shame. Musk is a powder. Musk smells like powder. So oak moss is also powder. That leans more into musk. We say musk, we mean woodsy. People are like, I love musk, and they're talking about sandalwood, and it's like, no, that's woodsy, not musk. I only say that because people will say scent words to me, and I'm like, again, with all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about. I barely, you know what I mean? It's like, again, back to what we started with. We're not taught how to talk about it.
That kind of comes from just old, I think, fragrance commercials probably, and cologne commercials, if I were to guess.
But so when people ask for specific fragrance like notes, that's not what they're asking. They don't know what they're asking for. but I do find there's solution for them, right? And like part of our job is to narrow that. They say you can smell a trillion things, but there's some controversy about that. But I, in my scent lab, have thousands of fragrance materials samples. When we do work, it's similar to like an interior designer. Sometimes we'll custom build and sometimes we'll buy a sofa off the shelf. It depends what's perfect for that experience. And we always try not to overwhelm. So we always try to send like 3 to 4 samples for events, but it's about storytelling. So we really try to understand the purpose of the event, the guests at the event, everything you can think of that's happening at the event. Then we help walk them through. Like if they hate vanilla, we're not going to put, like, vanilla is pretty recognizable. We're not going to put vanilla in. But there's like, you don't know what galbanum is. You don't know what labdanum is. You don't know what copal is. Like it's all these like oak moss. It's all these like popular or often used ingredients that you just wouldn't know, but you might love it. So again, that is part of our job, is like translating that. We try not to do dupes, but actually when you guys were talking earlier, there's another excellent scent marketer, and we're of the same vintage, Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh yeah.
We did a party once. This was a complicated party to post COVID, like of all the decades. Yeah. So we did like the 20s, the 30s, whatever. And for 90s, I don't usually like try to dupe, like perfume fragrances, because they read different on a body than they do in a space. But for the 90s, we did Fierce. We did Abercrombie, and it was perfect because that is what the 90s was like.
You used to wear their cologne when back into college.
Yeah, 90. That'd be the 90s. Yeah.
We could really take you back. Was college good for you? Party time?
Some parts of college were fun.
Good.
Yeah, the 80s would be Ralph Lauren polo then.
Yes. For sure.
We did strawberry bubble gum for 80s just because the difference between those two.
Bubblicious, yeah.
I think for okay, so sometimes we do dupes. Again, if it tells the story, we didn't end up booking this event. It was for like a hip hop award gala. I can't remember who they were honoring, but I was like, what? When these like were young guys rapping, trying to get out of their life situations, like what was an aspirational smell? What were they wearing? Polo and Drakkar Noir. And then I wanted to put a little cannabis in there just for funsies.
Yeah.
Drakkar Noir. That's an old one. That brings back memories.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I should mention here we have 4 services. The Scentscaping is one, but also we get hired to we have an activation where guests make a custom home fragrance like on site. So they smell 3 top notes, 3 middle notes, and 3 base notes. It's really fast and it's really like keyed up so you can do it. We always talk about it as like an addition to an event. So for a really custom gifting station, or like for an activity where people want, a gift. And then and then they make essentially a reed diffuser that they take home. It's TSA approved because a lot of our guests are traveling from all over the country. So that's a really fun experience. We do a workshop as well. So like for a team building activity, it's like this. Like, I hope you guys learned a little bit more about each other just by talking about fragrance. You mentioned grandpa, you mentioned college, it is talking about our memories, and it's intimate, like our relationship with scent. And it invites us to get to know each other better.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about it.
Have you done any studies?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
All right. So have you done any studies or seen anything like if it's like an event where there's sales from stage and there's certain scents that make people more receptive to buying?
Yes.
Have you gotten into that kind of
that?
Okay, we're on the same wavelength then.
Inside of exactly. Inside of like either on a stage or any type of thing that primes people to buy, like whether it's in a store setting, a showroom, or even in an event where they're selling, like Sean said.
So I am not a researcher, but the research says, and again, we don't do scent marketing. That's kind of a different niche, but we lean on those principles, that people do linger in spaces that smell good. So by default, if you're in a retail space and you are lingering, you're more likely to spend money, because if you're not present, you're not checking out, right?
Yeah. Right.
With regard to events, since I'm one of the few companies that do it, and I'm the only company that specializes it as a service. I've not had a chance to do the exact research, but from an anecdotal perspective, I did an event one time for the Mother Cabrini 10th anniversary gala. Mother Cabrini was like the first woman, one of the first women to be not Catholic, but canonized. Is that the right word when they become a saint? So there's a beautiful statue in Genesee, Colorado that is dedicated to her. And so when guests got to the event and they were like, how do we smell it so the silent auction makes more money, right? So similar to sales. So when guests got off the elevator, it smelled like the foothills, like the entree into the Rocky Mountains. We did pine, right? Like, and there were rocks and trees, natural trees that smelled really good. So that we gave you the outdoor experience where this Mother Cabrini statue is in Genesee, Colorado. And then during the silent auction, we brought up, fragrance wise, frankincense and myrrh. If you've ever been to a Catholic mass.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's what it smells like. So I don't know if they made more money that night, but I was in the elevator and a woman said, I felt like I was at church.
There you go.
There you go. Nailed it. So
That's
I guess
what wise men brought, right? Frankincense and myrrh, man.
You know about that? It's the day of the Epiphany. That's my name day. So I'm very Tiffany is from derivative of the word Epiphany. It is January 6th. It is when the wise men came. Yeah. I mean, Jesus is the anointed one. To be anointed is to have like fragrance oil on your forehead. There's all of the religions, both Eastern and Western, are steeped in fragrance. Oh, well, so were the pagans prior to all of that. That's why it's so weird. And they would do, like, when they would do sacrifices of animals, they have these altars. Again, this is pre-Christianity. And part of I've never attended one. I've never been invited, but I know that they are scent-scaped environments because they would put fragrant herbs along with the sacrifices that they were burning on these altars to create a shared sense experience. Catholicism, shared sense experience. And yet we just don't, what are we doing here in 2026? Call me, guys.
So if you were going to, let's say it was a conference and there was going to be some sales, I guess, how would you reverse engineer, you just find out the people that are coming and then how do you do that process? Like, how do you start, if you had to guess and you say, kind of like what your other people said, we want to raise more money this year. We're going to be selling from stage. What state or memory do people need to have?
I don't look at it quite like that, but I think so this kind of leans into my background in advertising and management, right? Like color theory is important. Like a lot of green logos, we think environment. Blue, we might think water, technology. Red is like passion, right? So if you think about scent in terms of design for a company brand, like how many BMWs do they sell because the logo is a propeller of blue and white? I don't know. So I think an exact through line of a design element to sales is going to be a difficult, maybe AI can do it, a difficult thing to measure. But creating an experience and telling a perfect brand story, the research does say that the more components of your brain that are stimulated at the same time, telling the same story. So it's not like you're drinking something purple and smelling orange. Like that's discordant, right? For one of our clients, and I sign a lot of NDAs, so I got a little nervous about them. But for one of our big tech clients, it's about telling that story along with all their other branding. And we use color theory in order to inform our decisions with regard to scent, right? Like if you think yellow, or this again is why we don't use color. We send you something yellow, you think citrus, right? You're like citrus. So if your brand is yellow, leaning into a citrus flavor, it's upbeat, it's bright, it's exciting, that tracks. It's also top notes. Makes sense. If your brand is a whiskey or a scotch, you're looking into deeper colors, right? Caramel and browns, or even leaning into burgundies, right? Well, those would be more woodsy flavors, woodsy, fragrances. They're bigger molecules. They move more slowly. They're a little bit sexier, right? They're like creating just a different mood. So you're not going to use a citrus probably when you're talking about something that's discordant to that. Does it?
No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. So if you got all this branding going on, you'd want to look at the colors and maybe start thinking about what scents match those colors. That's interesting from a conference standpoint.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Like we did something Palo Santo for the same client that just popped into my head, actually, because they were creating like a vignette inside of the huge conference. So we used Palo Santo. That's where we leaned into. I think the client had mentioned that they liked it and it worked. So great. And then the next year they partnered with a different sponsor for like a ski chalet. Again, totally different, same client, but like everything else about the design of that area you couldn't use the same fragrance for both. That wouldn't make sense. Yeah. And I think it is our job to help you tell what is that story you're trying to tell. For our interactive station and our workshop that I mentioned, right now we have like fragrance families based on the 4 seasons. So if you book us for an interactive station, historically, and it's fall, no matter where you are in the country, you're doing our fall, which is the most popular because people can talk about fall fragrances more easily than they talk about other seasons. But we have a summer, spring, winter, fall. So depending on when you book us, but now we're working on destinations. So we're doing an event next week in Dallas that's based on, Dallas and Fort Worth are it sort of lands into our Western destination, but because it's the Fire Horse, we also leaned into some other ideas based on that. But part of the fragrances that we're using, so for an interactive station, we need 3 top notes, 3 middle notes, and 3 base notes that all mix together well, using like flora that makes fragrance materials from that destination. So we have a mountain one we've worked on, a Northern California one we've worked on. So again, what do you want your guests to go home with? A memory of this experience, right? And how do you tell that story through that destination? Well, something destination-wise in South Florida is going to smell different than Seattle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So again, South Florida is going to have cocoa and suntan oil and all that stuff. Well, I have this question, and we'll start wrapping up, but I'm curious, like, have any of your clients taken the fragrance that you came up with from the event and then used it later for post-marketing, like sending thank you notes or follow-up direct mail and having that direct mail scented to match the event? Has anybody done that?
No, but we have explored wedding invitations, which is similar to what you're saying on the reverse. It gets a little complicated because scent what is scent? It's a volatile molecule, right? Like scents are floating around all the time. Eventually they disperse. You have to really get a concentration to even like kick it in our nostrils. So we've explored it, like I said, with wedding invitations. I don't know if we've ever executed it, but the timing between like scenting the paper, the other finishers, like how far it is, when it ships, it gets really complicated. I think for my brand, like you could do a scratch and sniff. Remember in the magazines?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
growing up, we had scratches.
We had like this, having to like,
yeah.
I smell rich now. We wouldn't do a scratch and sniff probably because that's not like high end, but I think thinking like that is what you should think about, right? Like even having that thought means you are telling a more complete story in our more complete human bodies. Something I did want to acknowledge earlier too is I think of scent as an act of inclusion, right? We talked about how we don't all see the same, we don't all hear the same. If you're spending, $250,000 on decor and grandma's blind, like you're not including her in that opportunity to experience your event. Or thinking about like if you're hard of hearing and you're really like focused on like the sound and the presentation, which you should do. But like, imagine being able to say, okay, all bodies of all different abilities can experience something.
Yeah. Oh, I like
Another
it.
way
It's a whole new world that, like we said at the beginning, I think people are overlooking or undersmelling, I guess, not overlooking, undersmelling. So
Yeah.
it's fascinating. Like it gets my brain going. Like I could see, if you had an event, I would definitely try to do male before and after that matched the event. Like I know that there's some timing issues, but depends on the event size and all that kind of stuff. But
well, I will
to
say
get
for
that
events,
recall.
well, so we do favors. So when we do a Scentscaping, we always gift our client a reed diffuser with that fragrance, right? And like
Okay.
they can buy it like for favors. And part of like, I think our gifting station and our interactive station, and when we work with these big tech companies, we get real estate in people's homes that a water bottle and a t-shirt's never going to give you. They put it on their desk. They put it in their foyer. They put it in their homes, their offices, their powder rooms. And they get that recall, right? That is part of what we're creating. We get access to people's bodies in a way that a lot of branding companies don't. And I think that is so a value. But again, we're not thinking about it. Somebody actually said these words to me. I wish I came up with them myself. But we as a society are olfactory illiterate.
Sounds right.
Yeah. But you guys are well on your way to being experts.
I know. We've just invested an hour. We're ahead of most people, so we're good.
You said you can cover a square. Did you say 100,000 square foot? Was that it?
It's not inexpensive, and it requires a lot of staff.
I didn't ask that.
It's doable. It's doable.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you have to figure in cubic
for the right price?
It's the right price. Scent, we always have this misconception that scent goes up. I did too. It's like we all think scent is helium. It's not. It's pretty big molecules. So scent doesn't go up. It goes down or like around, right? So when we scent a space, we don't usually go. We don't up and drop. It's usually at about ground level, and it like swishes around a space. So it just has to do with like, square footage per machine kind of, but also the doors, how people are moving, the timeline, all of those things inform our decision.
How many diffusers would it take for that amount of square footage?
Many, like 30. I don't know.
Okay. Then you got to figure out how to hide them so they're not obvious, I guess. Or
well, it's so funny because people are like, I don't like the way they look. I'm like, oh, but you like the way that speaker looks, or that light that's sitting on the. It's the same.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little spicy when people are like,
that's a good comeback. That's a great comeback.
Absolutely.
That's 3 feet taller than my machine.
Yeah. No, I got it. Well, this has been good stuff, Tiffany. We could probably continue talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, where can people find out more about you? Or I've got your LinkedIn pulled up, and I've got your scentx.com.
It's scentx.com because it was a $26,000 URL. I'm self-financed, guys. Put the hyphen in only for the URL. I do own the trademark. Whoa!
I got to back up. 26,000 for the domain name.
If I didn't have the hyphen, isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
I know. It's a touchy issue.
You'll get there.
You got one of the.
Also,
should do one of those lease over a period of time, just in,
rent to own.
They offer that now on GoDaddy, which is pretty cool. I mean, because I see these domains that are 10 grand, and like you can finance them over a 3-year period.
Nobody can buy it and sell scent on it because I own the trademark.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyhow, we digress. I believe on Instagram we are Scentex Events. Okay. And if you message us on any platform and say we listened to you on We Had a Pint with You, Persuasive Pints, we believe that's what we're called. We're the name of this show that we're on right now. By the Pint.
That's right. Persuasion by the Pint.
Persuasion by the Pints. Cheers. We'll send you some scent samples.
Yep.
And if you're interested in gum and drink pairings, I'm on TikTok.
All right.
Beautiful.
Got you covered.
Love it.
And my invitation to all of your guests, and I know you guys are already going to do this, smell your world, experience your experiences more deeply.
Oh, I love smell. What's your favorite? My favorites, I think I was trying to think, what's my favorite smell that is non-food related? And I would have to say the smell of leather. I don't know what it is, but the smell of leather.
I thought you
really-
were going to say campfire with your love for
Well,
outdoors
that's
camping.
a good one. I like that. But there's nothing quite like the smell of fresh leather. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You, Sean,
Different types of leather.
what's your favorite, or your favorite scent memory? That's always a good question
Yes.
too.
Oh, I mean, leather's definitely up there. Like a good, my wallet's leather. Like it's definitely a good smell. New car, nice leather. Mine's probably campfire. Like that's probably a top memory scent for me, for sure. Yep. I like a
How do you
cigar smell
package
too.
campfire, Sean? You can't package that.
You can. We do you can. That's pretty doable. Noted.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a campfire diffuser.
And the right
lightning
cigar is
bugs.
a nice smell too.
There you go. No, yeah, exactly.
What'd you say?
Cigar. The
With
right
a good
one.
cigar by the fire and a scotch. All of those scents coming together.
Yeah,
These are all base notes, which people gender sense and often call them masculine, and we know why, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good trio right there. I mean, depending on the type of event you were throwing, like I could see that being a very, good event and very, like that'd be a very memorable thing. And then you could follow up with, I mean, my mind as a direct response copywriter goes to like, how could I follow up on this and re-trigger that with a gift or, a scented card or, anything like that.
Scented. Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Something direct mail with that scent.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could send these out. I don't know how, but you have to, because this doesn't. We send these out, and they have some of them, depending again what's on here. Like if it's a base note heavy, it lasts way longer than a top note, but they last months to a year. But you have to But we play music. We look at pictures. Like, why not pull out the scent and be like, take me back?
I agree.
It's like some people, if they really do like a webinar presentation, if they're doing a big webinar presentation or online, they might send if they're doing it ahead of time, they might send out like popcorn for you to make popcorn while you're watching,
Yes.
There's another great scent.
First impression's everything. Theater. And I think, what is the first impression you get when you walk in someplace? The first thing that hits you, in my mind, is the scent, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
usually
almost even before visual, any visuals, you get hit with
only if it's curated, or it stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it's a neutral, if you're walking into the DMV, you're depressed to begin with.
Yeah, that has a certain.
It's a mix of
or like industrial carpet smell to it, right? It's got that.
Right. New builds can be an issue with smell because the off-gassing. So But I'm so glad you guys your little braids are just
yeah.
This has been fun.
That's something that the box guy that we had on a year ago. That's something he could
learn. Yeah,
he could add to this. So
definitely something that he could add on to his experience.
He creates these shock and awe boxes for like publishers or people who have books or courses, and they'll pack all kinds of like things that go along with like a course or a book. As kind of an upsell package or things, or even events. Do
you recall his business? I'll look him up.
I don't, but I'll send it to you after the show. I don't remember.
Well, don't forget my business. It's called Scent Experience. It has the word sex in it. So
can't forget that one.
Don't forget this one.
And and we'll definitely have on our show page, episode 422, we'll have your website, all of that. And you can find out more. This has been so fun. I mean, Tiffany, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We're gonna send you to our green room just for a few seconds. Sean and I are gonna close out the show, say goodbye, and if you've got a few minutes, we'd love to talk to you real quickly on the back end.
And thank you guys. Thanks to anybody that listened to this. Again, Please smell your world. And it was an honor.
Smell your world. I love it. Thank you. That's good stuff.
That's good. Which was your favorite of the 4?
I think the cinnamon, the fall.
1202.
Yep.
The old 1202. Nothing like a 1202, right?
I think that would, I think either that one or the last one would pair well with this beer. And she said either fall or the winter smell. So, but I love the first thing that came to mind, as I told you, the big red gum, the cinnamon smell. Yep. It just brought back memories right away. But that's cool. I love that smell.
I think mine was probably, it was probably that or the winter, the evergreen woodsy. That was probably my favorite, the 1430. So it's good stuff, man. There's a whole new set of things to think about if you're doing events or direct mail or anything else.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you, or events? We've talked so much about experiences and how we think the world is shifting, more to experiences. Like, and we haven't really talked
one
about
thing that AI can't duplicate, right?
Yeah. It might help you figure out like what's sent, but it's not going to be able to produce that for you.
Produce it. Yeah. It can't do that.
So there's a robot loaded with like scents, and then it just like sprays out as it walks around and serves cocktails to everybody. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see where all this leads.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Good stuff. Yeah. Very good. We are, glad to have Tiffany on. And again, you can check this episode out, episode 422. And next week, we have a guest joining us. We'll be talking about the science of conspiracy theories. He's got a fascinating book out on using or generating conspiracies. So
that's what we need, man. We need more of those.
Yeah, exactly. From a PR expert. So it'll be an interesting discussion. He's going to be joining us next week. And you can check us out at all of your favorite platforms, persuasionbythepike.com. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, you name it. And I guess we'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend.
See you.